Well, listen, we speak the same language, we watch the same TV shows, we like to call on each other, yet relations between Brits and Yanks are going through one of their rockier patches. It's mainly because the USA is fed up with seeing President Bush and the country generally relentlessly mocked and jeered at, even if privately they kind of agree. They take it personally. And now comes the backlash. It's this book, it's called The Evil Empire, 101 Ways That England Ruined the World. It's by American Stephen Grasse. Of course, he's not the first Yank to give us a bit of stick.
What I'm suggesting is that this place is the crummiest, shoddiest, worst-run hotel in the whole of Western Europe.
No! No, I won't have that. There's a place in Eastbourne.
And that you are the British Tourist Board's answer to Donald Duck.
Now, look, I know things have gone wrong this evening, but you must remember that we have had thousands of satisfied customers.
All right, let's ask them, eh? Let's ask them. Are you all satisfied? Are you satisfied?
Major, are you satisfied? I mean, you've been here 7 years. Are you satisfied?
Oh, yeah, I love it here.
Ladies, are you satisfied?
Oh, yes, thank you, Mr. Forty, yes. And thank you for asking.
Not at all. Mr. Arrow, are you satisfied? Well, yes, Mrs. Gurk, you?
Oh, very nice, yes.
You see, satisfied customers. Of course, if this little hotel is not to your taste, then you are free to say so. That is your privilege. And I shall, of course, refund your money. I know how important it is to you Americans. But you must remember that here in Britain, there are things that we value more. Things that perhaps in America you've rather forgotten about, but which, to we British, are far, far more important.
I'm not satisfied.
Than many... What?
I'm not satisfied.
No, we're not satisfied.
Well, people like you never are you?
What?
I love that. And here now we have Stephen Grasse, who wrote The Evil Empire. And to stand up for England and St George, Quentin Letts, and self-styled battle axe, Christine Hamilton. You can have your say in a minute, Stephen, because I have a feeling your tongue is not far away from the corner of your cheek. But you guys have read this. I mean, are we an evil empire?
Oh, no, we were rather a good empire, actually, and it lasted quite a long time, and it was, generally it enriched us, but it also enriched the world. But this is a fairly minor book. It's meant to be a loo book, really, I think. But what troubles me...
It's a loo book.
That's British disdain.
What troubles me is more... It's just lightly brushed by racism. And that's where it...
You mean racism against us?
Yes.
Which makes a change.
Well, if this was a book written, say, about Israelis, there would be, understandably, there would be a lot of disquiet about
Are the British a race?
You can get away with it because you're saying it about us, and we're prepared to take it.
But I'm an Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah. No, you're not.
No, with a name like that, you must be French.
Britain, well...
Grasse?
Well,
Grasse?
yes,
Greasy?
there's French in my blood.
Go on, tell us what you think about England, anyway.
Well, I think that imperialism caused all of the world's problems today. And that's
we weren't
the
the first
line.
empire.
Excuse me?
We weren't the first empire.
Yeah, but you were the biggest and the most profoundly evil.
We're blamed for everything in this book.
Ottoman Empire?
Everything.
We're blamed for the hamburger because of the Earl of Sandwich, because he wanted a sandwich. We're now
That's
blamed
true.
for the hamburger.
That's
We're blamed
true.
because we knighted Elton John.
That's
You're
absolutely...
right about that. We should have given
What
him
about
a Dame Wood. You're
Coldplay?
quite right.
Look at Coldplay. I mean, God.
What about them? What about them?
They're awful.
That's not, doesn't make them
They
evil.
destroyed rock and roll.
I think... Isn't the trouble that America just... you want everybody to say thank you to you the whole time, and we're
And
not
no one
doing
ever
that.
does. No one ever does. And I
there's
think
the
it's
rub.
time. Yeah, it
There's
is.
the rub.
It is.
Yeah.
And we're sick of it.
That's
Is
what
this
it
a
is.
reaction to what we've definitely observed in this country since the Iraq invasion, to the fact that British people are increasingly slugging Americans off?
But the funny thing is, or it's not funny at all, you guys caused the Iraq War by going into the Middle East and creating Iraq in the first place.
Oh, I see.
We caused the
where's the
Vietnam
blame for
War.
George
You did cause the Vietnam War.
Go on.
See, the trouble with
Caused
this book...
global
it is-
warming,
this is
Caused
very-
global warming.
But this is very much...
Industrial Revolution.
Yes.
No, yeah, the Industrial Revolution,
So
absolutely.
Brunel and Stephen...
You invented the
This is the politics
SUV.
of the
You
minicab
invented,
driver.
I mean, look at global travel.
What are you saying?
This is the politics of the minicab driver. I mean, it's all done, I guess. Now, all your minicab viewers are going to be furious about that, but of the worst sort of minicab
So now,
driver.
wait, that's racist. You just made fun of minicab
That's
drivers.
habit.
That's a
This is
typical,
the
that's a
American
typical
taxi
British
driver's
arrogance.
book.
There is a
British
chapter.
arrogance.
I mean, there are lots of chapters. It is just a loo book on the whole.
It's
There's
a
one
loo
that
book.
says they being the British or the English, they love a hanging. Well, we got rid of the death penalty, and in
Yeah.
America it still exists.
Well, we don't
And
hang
who was
people.
in the forefront
No,
of
but
the
you
British
elected
Saddam
death by
Hussein, for
injection.
heaven's sake?
Death by injection.
You think death by injection's better? Apparently that causes agonising pain.
It depends
That's
on
why
how
it's been
done.
dropped by so many states in America.
It
Electrocution. Sorry, the electric chair has been suspended by a number of American
Sparky.
states because it is known to cause immense suffering. Hanging, you're gone in a second.
This is true.
Well, then back off then.
Well, I think think this book, in a way, I think it's a backhanded... Some of it's very funny. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Let's not all gang up on Stephen. This book is funny. There are some very funny things in it. But I think there is an undertone of racist. But this is a sort of backhanded compliment.
I don't get how you're...
No, we've
how
done that
racist.
bit. This is a sort of the backhanded compliment that frankly, the mediocre play to the brilliant. Then there's an inferiority complex. There is an inferiority complex behind the author of this book and what you represent.
There's a political point, which is that we in this country always overstate the idea of the special relationship. If you work in America for a while as a Brit, you realise that the special relationship does not exist as far as Washington is concerned.
Because we don't care about you.
No, you don't care
think about you.
And so it's quite good for viewers to understand this.
We've always found ordinary Americans are incredibly polite and kind and welcoming.
Yeah, we are.
Well, yeah, but you just said we don't care about you.
We don't think about England that often.
No, that's right.
But
well, no,
actually, the reason I wrote this book is all my travels as a businessman. I'm just appalled at the news coming out of the UK, which is all negative about us.
It reads like you don't understand modern Britain. You say that we're all terribly polite still. Have you ever been out into the streets of modern Britain and seen what it's like?
Oh no, we queue.
We don't anymore. And this is the stereotypes in this book are very dated. And I also think that this book will actually offend people who've got relations fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan terribly badly.
In what way?
Well, because a lot of people in this country consider that our soldiers are there fighting America's corner. And now this sort of book, although it's, as I say, a minor piece of work, they will see this as a slap in the face for what their loved ones are doing.
I think the opposite is actually
I think they'll see it as a bit of rough humour.
No, I think it's...
Hang on. Don't you think that... Let's look at the origins of this book. I mean, don't you think, to some extent, these guys have a point? I mean, there's a saying in America, if it wasn't for our guys, you guys would be speaking German right now. And actually, America did help win, in fact, did win the Second World War. I mean, it hadn't...
What do you mean we had nothing to do with it?
We had a huge amount to do with it. And hold on. There's absolutely no way the Second World War would have been won had it not been for the British standing alone against Nazism in the first 2, 3, 4 years of the Second World War. However, the huge wealth of America, which was given to this country, and I know there was Lend-Lease and there were loans, did actually win the war, and we've never really said thanks, have we? Have we?
So say thank you. Somebody say thank you.
Thank you, but can we also remember...
And the Cold War, who funded
Richard, can we just go back to the Second World War? I 100% agree with you with that, but whose representative came over here, Joe Kennedy, came over here and said that we would never win the war. He was against Lend-Lease because he said we would be defeated by Hitler and we would never be able to pay it back. What sort of defeatism is that?
But Roosevelt signed the Lend-Lease Act.
Sorry?
But Roosevelt signed the Lend-Lease.
Yes, I know, but you can't, you know... we couldn't have won the war without America. Of course we couldn't. My goodness, without us, they would have just sat back.
I want to go back to how people whose kids are fighting in Iraq are going to be offended by a Lou book. You told me my book was a Lou book,
yes.
but it's going to offend people in Iraq.
Because actually, books like this, we're getting exposure on a television station. I think it can undermine any respect
but it's a
that
Lou
people
book.
have. Well, it is.
You said it has no importance.
But you describe yourself as a lay historian. This isn't really history. This is a joke, isn't it?
And lay historian is a joke in itself.
But I fear it's going to...
Isn't it part of the punchy relationship we've got with the States? That we kick each other from time to time in the head and then shake hands afterwards and carry on?
It's deliberately provocative and extreme.
Absolutely.
But it is to stimulate conversation.
But there is a danger in being provocative, and there is a lot that is disreputable about this.
But it doesn't humor
in the
come
racism
from tension?
that I detect. And I think that will upset people.
Well, I do think certainly that you
fighting in Iraq.
That the world superpower America could certainly learn from British imperialism at its height. I mean, we did get rid of slavery. Maybe you could get rid of Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah. And the Americans also got rid of slavery a long time after us.
Yeah, but who introduced it to us?
Okay.
Who brought it there? Who brought all the slaves to America?
Let us now pour wine on troubled waters.
I think you mean oil.
No, I mean wine, because it's time for the wine club with the exuberant Ollie Smith. Thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you.
It's a vigorous conversation.